Hello, everybody. Today I'm gonna talk about fundamental moral units and the moral autonomy. Let's start. There are so many considerations in making ethical decisions, but what consideration is most important? The different cultures and ethical systems have produced theories that favor one constitution over the others, and the constitution that a theory favors is called fundamental moral unit. And many of the classical Western philosophers from the Greek and the Roman traditions favor the individual as the fundamental moral unit. In these theories, the primary dictate is the negative statement. Don't get an individual's way in his or her pursuit of the good life. Feminist theories tend to determine the best choice based on how well those choices strengthen the connections among people and how well the needs of the most vulnerable are addressed. The fundamental moral unit here is a relationship between people and is based on the belief that care should be given those who can't take care of themselves. Some Eastern theories promote the overall good of the community first and foremost, and some indigenous theories stress human connections with the world as a whole, with all natural systems and species having an equal rights and coexist. People who grow up in these traditions expect that they and the others will sacrifice individual self-interest for the good of the group and the environment. The fundamental moral unit here is called agreed good. Let's consider a decision you might encounter. If you were a member of your local city council, there is a 50-acre parcel of land in your city's jurisdiction that was designated 100 years age to remain open space. Now the area contains some ancient native burial grounds, but the tribe members 100 years ago. And the tribe members today are happy with the designated use as long as woodlands around the burial mounds stay intact. A developer would like to build a shopping mall there. As a city council, you get to decide how that land will be used today. Should it remain a park or become a shopping mall? If your choice is based only on the good that comes to individuals, you might be tempted to go with the shopping mall. The mall will provide jobs for many of the people in the community who are out of the work, and additional income from the taxes from the new property owner, and the businesses will allow the city to reduce taxes for the individual homeowners. What choices is the best advance the overall good of the community which I live? The policy choice made previous to protect the land, respect the human connections, the natural systems, and was sensitive to the culture and the history of a minority group, affirming that decision helps all people in the community maintain trust in government. We can see how the teachings from all these traditions can help us in analyzing an important choice, and they can help us to answer one more question. Can I find a choice that doesn't cause harm to anyone or anything? If a shopping mall is a good idea for the community, other building sites that don't cause harm are waiting to be found. Moral autonomy. The moral autonomy is the ability of the rational person to make decisions within herself or himself, applying the objective moral law, but voluntary and consequently, autonomously, independently, and how can I say, the free from the interpersonal or the internal influences or the interferences. Uh, the moral theory affirms that equal satisfactory results will be obtained when applying the same traditional methods of the logical intellectual reasoning on the problems of a moral philosophy. Under these parameters, each person's intellect alone is sufficient to separate the good from the bad and act responsibly according that moral will. What decides good and bad? Moral autonomy completely rejects the supernatural agents such as God's certain norms about the good and evil. And they give humans the moral sensibility and guidance in their lives. The theorists criticize that when searching for the moral truth or the divine in religion, it will not get the same answer for everyone. Was where I was. To determine the good from the bad, one has only to use logic with a sense of the reflection towards or other people. Moral autonomous and non-moral, according to Kant, moral autonomy theory distinguish the decisions or actions that are taken as a result of a moral judgment, and those done for the other immoral reasons, such as a desire, interest, or feelings. Kant explained this by a presence of the moral imperatives in the lives of all people. Orders are a kind of the implicit orders of a people day in and day out, where the reasoning is developed to decide how to act and why to act. Practical is a representing of subjective need or the willingness to take a particular course of action as mean as if a result is to be achieved. The ultimate goal is motivated by dispositions, desires, or interests that can be loaded with emotions. The decision will not be morally autonomous because there are agents outside of the reason that interfere with influence of the person. The categorical imperatives, they represent represents the will to decide on a course of action based solely and exclusively on a reason, with a purpose or associated purpose and desires, interest, feelings, etc. It's an objective need in itself, completely independent of this relation to it. For Kant, acting under categorical imperatives equates to being morally autonomous or having autonomous will, the will of good morality to do good in itself, not for the good results. Moral development of the individual. Cognitive development theories in evolutionary psychological have made other important contributions to moral autonomy. These are that in the childhood stages of the human beings, reasoning develops to a heteronomous way. They obey norms because of an authority commands without exception. If not followed, it's a penalty. These are my resources. Thank you for listening. That's all.